Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to KFP Special 11. A few new nerd shows. Few.
It works.
But, yeah,
it works. Well, it's two.
Yeah. So, if you just stumbled across us on the interwebs, check us out at kfpodcast.com.
What else?
At KF Podcast on Facebook.
And?
Ken Frederick Podcast on the Twitter.
Anywhere else?
Possibly at Ken Frederick Podcast on YouTube.
Anything else?
And the Instagrams.
And then...
So, there's been two new nerd TV show trailers that were... One was supposed to be leaked. And one
caught
was
our
not.
eyes.
Oh, hey. Tickled our fancy.
Me and Justin caught Krypton. You guys missed it.
Well, how about you give us a little brief synopsis?
Well, the Krypton trailer, I have to say I was actually really impressed with. Like, I was down on this show. Justin's rolling his eyes.
Down on this show?
When I saw this show, I really thought, like, wow, I don't even know why they're bothering with this. You know, I saw the synopsis for it. But it really looked like they put a lot of, like, work into it. I mean, it really, it's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to follow Superman's grandfather. So not even Jor-El. It's the guy that's, like, creating the House of El.
Okay.
And it's, like, through all the, like, politics of Krypton and the different things. I'm sure there's going to be lots of throw-ins, like Brainiac and different things like that.
You think Lex Luthor's family's going to be in this?
No. It's going to have a lot of, like, the Daxamites and different things like that, and, like, the civil wars that they had between each other and the different stuff like that. I thought the trailer looked why were you rolling your eyes? Did you think it looked horrible?
I don't understand the point. I really don't. They're on Krypton, so they don't have any powers.
Right, but it's
two generations. It's 2 generations before Superman.
Right.
Who gives a shit? I don't see the point of this show. I really don't.
I think it's a chance to do something. Krypton to me is a very unique place. Like, Superman's history is very rich. There's a lot of stuff that where their planet came from. Like, you can go back to, like, the origins of Doomsday, the origins of Brainiac, even Darkseid related stuff. I mean, you could do a lot of old DC lore, New Gods, different things like that, Apocalypse, all that stuff like that. And it's just going to be a show about a society that's, like, at the peak of their civilization where the downfall's about to happen. Civil War is breaking out. It just so happens to be Krypton. It's just like when you watch Gotham, like, it's a detective show about a city full of crime. It's not a Batman show. This isn't a Superman show.
Correct, but at least the future Batman is in the show.
Yeah, but he doesn't even need to be. I don't know. And they're saying that it looks like it's going to... that there's rumors that it might take place in the same DCU movie universe. That this is, like, Russell Crowe, you know, that whole thing. It takes place.
I read that. It was a prequel to Man of Steel.
It's a prequel to Man of Steel.
I don't care.
You don't care, man?
I don't find Superman interesting enough to watch or to, like, read a comic of his. Like, a movie I can sit through. It's an hour, nowadays 2 hours, But I can't, the mythos doesn't intrigue me, so I won't.
Well, I guess if you're not a Superman fan, then you would have no reason.
I have the same feeling about this I do about Gotham. And I don't want to watch a Batman show with Batman on it. I don't want to watch a Superman show without Superman.
Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, it's not a Superman show. Gotham isn't a Batman show. It's Gotham. It's the show about the city and its lore.
So it's a show with all the supporting characters without the main character.
Who can have their own story. Gotham. I mean, we're not supposed to talk about Gotham.
Interesting without the main character.
I think they're more interesting than the main character.
You think that Commissioner Gordon is more interesting.
The story isn't just about Commissioner Gordon. He's one part of that show. The story is about the Riddler. I mean, the Riddler's origin is interesting. The Penguin origin is interesting.
More interesting than Batman. You just said that all those side characters
it's more interesting to me now because I know the origin of Batman. I've seen the origin of Batman in comic book, cartoon, movie, video games. I got it. like as far as Batman's origin, I got.
You don't need to yell at me about this.
No, but I'm just saying, I got those origins.
You know what bothers me about that show is the fact that their origins happened 20 years before the superheroes.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's just what they're doing. It's a different take on it. It's like that's where I think people get locked in with this show. Is
and I know what the origins of Doomsday and the Daxamites, all this stuff. 2 generations, they're like 80 to 180.
Yeah, but I mean, it's again, I guess it's not for everybody. Like me being a Superman fan, I love Kryptonians. I've always thought Kryptonians are interesting. I think it would be interesting to watch a soap opera type thing take place on their planet with all their technology. I like hearing about. I know they'll drop Easter eggs in there. I like that kind of stuff.
So here's the official synopsis from the show.
I wasn't yelling at you. If I yell at you, I'll yell at you.
The much anticipated Superman prequel, set 2 generations before the destruction of the legendary Man of Steel's home planet, will follow Superman's grandfather, whose House of El was ostracized and shamed, as he fights to redeem his family's honor and save his beloved world from chaos. By that synopsis, I don't hear Doomsday. I don't hear.
Well, of course you don't. Yeah, because you don't. I mean, you don't know that.
I
when you heard the synopsis for Smallville, that you didn't even watch Smallville, but you didn't know that they were going to have General Zod, Bizarro, Doomsday, everybody on that show by the end of 10 seasons. But you did.
Yeah, the difference between Gotham and this is when Gotham came up, you knew it was about the origin of the villains, the origin of Batman, like as a child,
right.
How everything came up. This, like you kind of just mentioned, it sounds like a soap opera about a guy whose family was
it's a House of El.
Kicked out, and he's sad about his family being shunned, and he wants to get back into the good graces.
You're a big fan of the show Arrow, right? You remember the initial synopsis for Arrow when the director came out and said, this show has no superpowers in it. This is a non-superpowered world. This is just about the struggles of this guy. Look where you are 5 years later. Everybody's got superpowers.
Yeah.
It's tied to a whole mass universe. That show developed, at first, you didn't think that show was going to go there at all, but it went there. Like, I could see this show branching out and showing maybe things that are going to eventually happen in the movie.
It'd be a good way for DC to build their cosmic universe. They have a very big cosmic presence in the comics, but they haven't really tapped into any of that.
Yeah, like I said, you could get into talking about the early days of Apocalypse, the New Gods, all that stuff that I find very interesting. Mother boxes and boom tube technology and Green Lantern Corps. I mean, you could have a whole.
They would probably be around.
You could have the Guardians show up on there and have things like that. There's a lot of old school DC stuff that you could do in outer space.
Kirby stuff.
Yeah, total Kirby stuff that you haven't seen before. You could have, I mean, Christ, you could have Lobo show up on that show for all you want and say a bounty hunter arrives on Krypton. And, there's plenty of things you could do with it. I think that it opens up to a nice thing that people who just think, a lot of people think Superman is one-dimensional. It's just Smallville. He came from a planet. They don't really know a lot about it. Superman is rich with history and Kryptonian history.
Because Krypton's not just like Midwest. Like, it's not going to be boring, just a bunch of people sitting around. It's going to be a highly advanced society.
Yeah, there's a lot of technology. There's a lot of cool things. There's also Brainiac, different stuff in the development of him. I don't know. I think it would be interesting to watch.
I mean, I'm a sucker for these shows. I'll DVR it and watch it, at least until it annoys the crap out of me. But
I mean, you don't get in these shows, but you don't get in any of the shows. You don't watch any of them. You watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like one season. That was really.
I was caught up to 3 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and felt just.
And you don't like any of the DC,
no,
the W or CW shows. You've never been a fan of any.
No.
The other thing with this is, even though it's probably not going to be tied into the WB or the CW stuff. I don't think this is going to be tied into the movie universe. Warner Brothers hasn't done that with any of their other shows. I
think the beauty of it is that you don't have to right away say that.
Because it's so far in the past.
Yeah.
You could do a couple seasons, see how it goes. And like I said, just like Arrow said, they weren't going to tie into anything. And now they have 4 TV show crossovers and are crossing over with another one coming soon. You could say this is nothing. And then 3 years from now, go, oh, when the Green Lantern movie comes out, we're going to introduce them first on Krypton, and then they're going to be in the Green Lantern movie. You know what I mean? Like, you could do that.
Or at least the technology behind it.
Yeah.
Meh.
All right. Next.
So then we got some Cloak and Dagger on Freeform.
And we're going to be different on this one. because we're different on everything.
Yeah,
because this is Marvel, and anything Marvel does, Ken likes.
No, and
it's true. You hate DC. You know you hate DC comics.
I don't hate DC comics.
He does.
Oh, whatever.
He does.
You're a Marvel mark.
Marvel zombie.
You didn't even hear what I said. I was going to say.
I apologize. Go ahead. Speak.
I know he doesn't like it.
No, you go first.
No, you go first.
No.
It's your show. Go ahead.
Oh, we all know it's your show. as the text message today, we need to talk about my show.
I didn't say my show.
You said it on Facebook.
I said our show.
You said this is my podcast.
Anyway, go ahead. Give us your review.
You go first. I insist. As the host, I insist you go first.
I've never been a big fan of Cloak and Dagger to begin with. I always thought Cloak and Dagger, I never knew really where they fit. I didn't mind them in the Spider-Man books as like partners for him when they would show up. I didn't like when they tried to tie him in with the X-Men. I know that they were maybe mutants, but now they're not mutants. I don't know what they are.
Their original origin was they were like they took street drugs and then they gave them superpowers.
Yeah, so I've never.
There's no way that that's going to be their origin.
No. Never been a huge fan of them. I always thought Dagger was just Dazzler. It was like the same character. They threw light shards and energy and stuff like that.
Very
Cloak
similar.
I always thought was cool because people would disappear into the cloak and do all that. I liked when he was like on a team and they would use him to like transport people through him. Functional.
Yeah.
I don't see this being like anything that would really interest me. It's not that I won't give it a chance, but like from watching it, it looked like some kind of like young, I don't know, like teen angst show.
Pretty Little Liars, Riverdale.
You know, I was like, okay, whatever, you know.
Because they don't show any powers until, the last second of the trailer?
She pulls like a glass
Yeah, she pulls
out.
that dagger thing out, and that's it.
So I don't know. Again, I'll watch all these shows. I will give it 5 episodes, like I do for all of them. Watch it, and maybe I will be surprised and go, this is okay. But I can't see me sticking around.
I think Supergirl surprised you.
I gave it 5 shows, and I stuck with it. That's what I did. Like, I gave Legion a couple shows, and I just didn't like it.
Legion?
Too far out. Legion,
I forgot that was even on.
Xbox show.
Oh, it's
I got through 4. I think I'm still
going to... 3
gonna.
or 4 and was like, I just can't anymore with this. But, I don't know. So what do you think?
I think that this show, if done right, the first season, I don't think I can watch. It looks very much teen angst drama and whatnot, but you can tell where the origin's going to be. It's going to be, this kid saves this girl from, the rocks and chemical truck falls off the bridge. They get mixed in with chemicals, get their superpowers. He rescues her. Probably her dad dies in that drowning. She survives.
Because that's every superhero origin in Marvel.
Yeah.
So parents have to die.
Someone has to die because it doesn't show a father figure, just her mother. And it looks like they're rich, but they might be losing their money. He looks like he's poor, but he's gangbanging on the street,
But he's like the good kid.
Yeah.
In real life,
He's an overachiever.
Yeah, he's into sports, and it looks like they have powers. And once they meet each other at some high school function, they realize they start falling in love or whatever, and it's them dealing with all that.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of that.
This show, I think, will get good in season 2 when all that other origin hoopla is gone. So hopefully it makes it.
But like what we've said before is like, who's number one? Will this tie into the rest of the MCU?
Absolutely.
I think it already does because they show the Rocks and Corp that's all through the Netflix shows.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're right off the bat we're going to know that.
So if it ties in, I mean, I don't really know a lot of Cloak and Dagger villains that you would use.
There's no villains. I think
Those
that's
get Spider-Man villains and stuff like that.
And I don't even think you need villains. Make Rocks and Corp the villain.
Yeah.
That they need to figure out how they got their powers through the first season.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe if they did some Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. cameos with it or something like that.
Well, just like you were talking about, like possible tie-ins in the Krypton show. Just imagine all the names they can drop from kids in that school that they're in.
Oh yeah,
you could do a lot
Marvel
there.
stuff like
maybe they would
crazy.
bring the Power Pack in or something like that.
Possibly.
Oh yeah,
New Warriors.
There's so many different.
Well,
routes
the
they
New
could go.
Warriors, they're ruining. I mean, talk about new show ideas. Did you
I
hear
heard
that
about
horribleness?
Saw
They're
that.
going to do a comedy
Squirrel
show
Girl.
led by Squirrel Girl and the New Warriors.
As you can tell by comedy shows, comic book comedy shows doing so well, Powerless got canceled.
Yeah, I mean,
Which I actually didn't mind that.
I didn't mind.
No,
that show either.
I kind of liked it too.
Speaking of not giving me shit about DC TV shows, I watched that, enjoyed it.
Well, this one is going to be Squirrel Girl, who I can't stand, and then
Everyone loves her.
she's with
Night Thrasher.
a horrible version of Night Thrasher. I mean, now I know Night Thrasher isn't the coolest characters, but like I was a New Warriors fan from the beginning.
So
when
you liked him on the skateboard.
Well, when he was like a guy, was trying to avenge his brother's death, and he wore like the armor, he was like a Punisher, and he had the sticks that he fought with. He was a little bit, at least, like a badass. I know they did the skateboard for a while, but when he was with like Nova and Namorita and Firestar and Justice, it was a cool little like team. Now this is like Night Thrash, and they're like, and if you read the descriptions on them, which I went through, they're like, loves hip hop music, funny guy, jokes around a lot, like, and I'm like, this is a Night Thrasher. Then they're like, it's
that's Speedball.
They have Speedball in it. Who's the other one they have in it?
Debris.
Trying to get it up here, but your
Debris.
your internet's pretty slow.
The Warrior team from
Civil War.
Yeah, the beginning of Civil War.
Supergirl, Mr. Immortal, Night Thrasher,
Mr.
Squirrel Girl.
That's who they got
Great Lakes
Great
Avengers.
Oh, they're combining the Great Lakes Avengers.
Which I don't just do the Great Lakes Avengers. If you
and they're like, he can't die. He wishes he could. He's going to see everything. He thinks he's the coolest, and it's all these like cool little things. And I'm like, this is terrible. Why are they making this show?
Microbe and Debris.
I don't remember Debris.
Yeah, I don't remember.
She controlled like debris, like she could telepathically like move garbage, stuff like that.
Deborah is proud, funny, quick-witted, confidently out as a lesbian. Deborah has experienced deep loss in her personal life as direct result of super heroic. She can take care of herself. At least she says she can. She knows she's the one who calls people on their
BS.
BS.
Stop reading. I don't want to hear any more of it. I've already read through it once. It's so terrible.
If it's got Squirrel Girl in it, it's going to be...
Oh, first of all, I don't know why people are so obsessed with Squirrel Girl. I don't know what's so great about
it. I was down with Squirrel Girl when I was hoping it was going to be...
Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah,
Anna Kendrick.
You know what? But... Squirrel Girl to me was funny in the new Avengers when she was like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones' babysitter. And she was kind of a joke, but she was just a babysitter.
And she was banging Wolverine.
Yeah, and Wolverine had sex with her, and they like joked about it. Luke Cage was like, really, Wolverine? I mean, like, is there anybody, you haven't been with? And then now she's like, beats Thanos in a comic book.
I don't know. She's beat Galactus, Doctor Doom.
Yeah, and it's like, come on, and they do all this with her. I don't know where she's like trying to make like a Deadpool out of her or something. I don't know.
She's trying to Harley Quinn, but she doesn't have any kind of like.
And then go ahead and ruin the New Warriors, which it could have been a good. New Warriors to me should have been something they tried to maybe do in the animated form.
You just are mad that there's no Nova.
Well, I am mad there's no Nova, but that's a hard movie to make or whatever. I think it would have made a good animated TV show, like a Young Justice, do a New Warriors cartoon for Fox, or not for Fox, but for something like that they have,
This is actually going to be on Freeform too, so Freeform must have rights to just everybody.
Well, Freeform, it's ABC.
Okay.
And there's no reason why this can't cross over with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No, yeah.
Netflix, I don't think you're going to cross that over because...
No, I think that's the darker side of things.
Yeah. That's Marvel Knights.
Yeah.
If you were reading comics back then.
Which I can't wait to review this because I have a lot of comics.
I have three. I'm 3 episodes left.
I got 2 left.
Okay.
How about you're done?
I got
10 done.
3 left.
Yeah. We'll get soon. Coming soon.
Slackers.
So real quick, back to Cloak and Dagger. I think that's going to be an okay show once you get past the order.
If it can get past that, if it can survive and get past that, I don't know.
I mean, I enjoyed Riverdale a lot more than I thought I would.
I like Cloak and Dagger starting in Civil War, like in the books, and if they can get them to the fact that they like are a couple that realizes they need each other for their powers and they start using them effectively, it could be a good show. If it's too teen angsty, which it's probably going to be because it's Freeform, I don't know if I can.
Yeah, and you know what? It'll be a lot of the love story stuff between them trying to like.
It's definitely gonna be a lot of wrong side of the tracks.
Wrong side of the tracks, love story, you can't date him, racial stuff, and all those different things.
Yep, exactly.
A lot of that.
Tons of that.
All right, so there you go. TV shows, new ones.
Some new nerd shows.
We'll be back to.
And then live action Titans are supposed to come out too. Just started making that.
Is that live action? Is that a TV show or a movie?
A porno.
No,
it's a TV show.
All right. What channel is that going to be on? Live action Titans.
KFP Podcast TV. No, it's going to be on something.
KFP TV takes care of me. Coming to you.
All right. So thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for listening.